Hi everyone, I'm Ilya. So today I would like to talk about an introduction of this genre. So let's go through together. Fish farming using biofloc technology has a distinguished advantage over traditional fish farming because it requires low to zero water exchange and break down nitrogen metabolites and recycle nitrogen as bacterial biomass, supplying a complementary and inherently nutritious food for the commercial crop. Effective growth of biofloc microorganisms require an external carbon source to promote bacterial biomass that leverage waste nitrogenous metabolites in the system. Recommend a 15:1 to 20:1 carbon-nitrogen ratio for good biofloc cultivation. The high nitrogen excretion present in the system come from waste because fish usually excrete 50 to 70% of the nitrogen present in their diet. Some researchers suggest that sugar and molasses are assimilated more quickly by bacteria, increasing production of biofloc in less time. More efficient ratio were between 15:1 to 20:1, which increased productivity in pond by 20 to 45% and survival by 20 to 30%. Biofloc systems are reduced consumption of commercial feed by 30 to 37%, decreasing the cost of production by 40%. Biofloc technology is a good strategy to reduce the production of costs.
Hi, my name is Daya and I'm from Group 5. Today I will present objective and the results. There are two objectives in this case study. First, to measure the effect of molasses at different carbon-nitrogen ratios for producing juvenile tilapia, Oreochromis niloticus. Second, to measure water quality during the trials.
Study used 8 different methods, which are experimental design, carbon-nitrogen ratio in trials, experimental system, biofloc production, maintenance of juvenile tilapia during cultivation, water quality, response variable, and also statistical analysis. As I mentioned before, there are 8 different methods used in this study. First is the experimental design, which are conducted under a shade house. About 70% of the area are covered with the shade cloth, and the placement of the tanks are randomly designed with 3 replicate. The initial weight and length of the juvenile were recorded. Molasses were used as the carbon source, and as for the control, the water will be exchanged weekly. Next is the carbon-nitrogen ratios in trials. The amount of carbon used is determined by the protein content in feed which is given to the juveniles. There are 5 different treatments with 3 replicates, and the molasses were added every 4 days as a carbon source. Next is the experimental system with 18 circular tanks, which is constantly aerated. Every tanks will have about 3.14 meter cube water per tanks and about 75 juveniles per meter cube. Next is the biofloc production. A week before the trials, the tanks will be prepared to promote the biofloc production by filling the tank to 30% capacity plus with the 141 milliliter liquid chelated fertilizer. Then the juvenile were added when the biofloc bacteria concentration is at a level of 0.2 milliliter per liter, and the concentration of ammonia were maintained low. It is to prevent the stress in the juveniles of tilapia. Next is the maintenance of juvenile tilapia during cultivation. The juvenile will be fed twice daily. As for first and second months, they will fed with a commercial diet containing about 45% protein and 12% lipids at a level of 3% of the fish biomass in each tank. It will be different diet formula during months 1 and 2, month 3 and 4, months 5 and 6. As for the months 3 and 4, the diet will contain about 32% protein and 5% lipid. And for the during months 5 and 6, the diet contains 30% protein and 3% lipids. Every month, the 15 tilapia were catch from each treatment and weighed, and then their length will be measured. The excess water will be removed. At the end of the trials, 30 tilapia from each treatment will be sacrificed to measure their total weight. Next is water quality. The water quality will be measured daily at 12 in the afternoon. As for the temperature, dissolved oxygen, dissolved salts, ammonia, ammonium and nitrate will be measured by using the Professional Plus Model YSI, Yellow Springs OH. As for the nitrite, will be used the colorimetric test to measure the nitrite level. And for the pH, will be used the Eco Tester pH2. Next is response variables. The response variables in this study is survival and weight gain, as it will be analyzed to get the fillet yield, which will calculated as a total weight of stick divided by total body weight. Lastly is the statistical analysis. The Kolmogorov-Smirnov and Levens test will be used to verify the normality and homoscedasticity, and the ANOVA will be used to analyze the parameters of water, growth and yield. And lastly, the Duncan multiple range will be used to identify statistically significant difference among the means treatment.
Everyone, so today I would like to talk about a paper background. What is a paper background? Paper background is a schema ranking. So let's see. The schema ranking for this journal is 152. The publisher is Elsevier BV and the publication type is a journal. Next, we will go for the discussion. Let's go through together. So, the discussion for this journal is biofloc systems are a good strategy in areas where alkaline pH is a limiting factor for growing some aquaculture species of fry, since the pH decreases gradually during cultivation of tilapia. The concentration of dissolved salt and settled biofloc solid increase in direct proportion to the amount of molasses in the system. According to Rokaki et al. 2006, large biofloc mass reduce dissolved oxygen and increase ammonia, nitrate, and nitrite derived from decomposition without adding benefit in growth or water quality. Next, mortality in the control treatment was high, probably from the high pH and nitrate in the water source. Constant replacement of water in the control group tank did not change the negative effect of the water source. The pH and nitrate are above recommended level. Biofloc promotes stability. Weight gain in all treatment was similar. Biofloc system will add libidin feeding. Tilapia in the control treatment had greater weight gain but lower fillet yield than tilapia in the 10:1 and 15:1 carbon-nitrogen biofloc treatment. Biofloc systems are rich in highly digestible protein and have more efficient FCR. Carbon-nitrogen ratio during the first 3 months of cultivation should be between 10:1 to 20:1. Affect survival, growth and water quality, including water with higher nitrate content and pH 7. Will promote efficient growth, feed conversion and water quality. Biofloc systems serve as an alternative to standard intensive farming of tilapia by reducing environmental impact, eating natural primary producer rather than commercial feed and using far less water.
Result. Trial was performed in 18 3.14 meter cube circular tanks with constant aeration. Survival in all treatments with biofloc was similar and significantly higher, which is 94.060 plus minus 2.03% than in the control treatment, which is 84.96 plus minus 1.53%. Best weight gain gram per day occurred in the control treatment, but was influenced by low density. The 10:1 and 50:1 carbon-nitrogen treatments had similar weight gains, but not the 12.5:1 and 70.5:1 carbon-nitrogen treatments. Total production in the 10:1 treatment was the highest, which is 18.03 plus minus 0.25 kg meter cube with slightly declining production. In this order, first control result, which is 17.86 plus minus 0.16. Secondly, for 15:1, result 70.73 plus minus 0.18. For 12.5:1, which is 17.20 plus minus 0.28. For 17.5:1, result which is 16.44 plus minus 0.04, and lastly for 20:1, result is 16.28 plus minus 0.02. Water quality remains similar in all biofloc treatments, but lower concentration of nitrogen compounds occur in the 10:1 carbon-nitrogen tanks. This result suggests a 10:1 carbon-nitrogen ratio provides good survival and growth of tilapia with no water exchange.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. My name is Nur Afika. Today I would like to present about recommendations and conclusion in our journal. First is recommendations for production of Nile tilapia raised in a biofloc system under high density cultivation. The first recommendation is carbon to nitrogen ratio during the first 3 months of cultivation is suggested to be between 10:1 to 20:1. This is based on productivity and water quality, as well as values of biotransformation of nitrogen metabolites. Next, we will move to the recommendation number 2. From 4 months until harvest, carbon to nitrogen ratios of 10:1 to 15:1 is very recommended, which contain higher dissolved oxygen (DO) and will promote efficient growth, feed conversion ratio, and good water quality. I hope you guys can still focus with me. My last PowerPoint presentation is about conclusion in our journal. Biofloc technology is a good strategy in areas where alkaline pH is a limiting factor for aquaculture activities because the pH decreases gradually as molasses is added. The success and permanence of aquaculture sector relies on the implementation of sustainable and environment-friendly technology. BFT or Biofloc technology optimizes energy and resources during production. Last but not least, Biofloc systems serve as an alternative to standard intensive farming of tilapia by reducing environmental impact, eating natural primary produces rather than commercial feed, and using far less water.
As for the reference, this journal used reference from Asaduzaman M. et al. 2008, titled CN Ratio Control and Substrate Addition for Periphyton Development, Jointly Enhanced Freshwater Prawn Macrobacterium rosenbergii Production in Ponds, Aquaculture 280, page 170 until 123. Next is from Afnimelet Y, 1999, titled Carbon-Nitrogen Ratio as a Control Element in Aquaculture Systems, Aquaculture 176, page 227 until 235. Other than that, it is referred to the Azim ME and Little DC 2008, entitled The Biofloc Technology BFT in Indoor Tanks, Water Quality, Biofloc Composition, and Growth and Welfare of Nile Tilapia Oreochromis niloticus, from Aquaculture 283, page 29 until 35. Next is from Ekasari J, Crab R and Versatrate W 2010, entitled Primary Nutritional Content of Bioflocs Cultured with Different Organic Carbon Sources and Salinity, Hayati J. Bayoskai 17, page 125 until 133. Next is from Goldman J.C., Carden D.A. and Dennett M.R. 1987, entitled Regulation of Gross Growth Efficiency and Ammonium Regeneration in Bacteria by Substrates, CN Ratio, Liminal OC.
Thank you for lending your time to hear my presentation until the end. See you next time.